Determine the value of x that makes the following a true statement. And so here we have this equation and our goal is to determine the value of x. Indeed, we have 4 times 10 raised to the power of -3. We have 6 times 10 raised to the power of x all over 2.4 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of -1, and that's equal to 1. Notice that we have 4 here and we have 6 here. So let's bring them together. So we have 4 times 6. And notice that we have 10 raised to the power of 3 and 10 raised to the power of x. And so we bring them here. And we put this all over 2.4 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of -4. What we do is we group our numbers. We put our numbers together. And the terms that have base 10, we put them together. And so we have, okay, well, what is 4 times 6? Well, 4 times 6 is 24. And so we have 24 divided by 2.4. Next, we have 10 raised to the power of 3 divided by 10 raised to the power of -4. Now, when we have these two terms, right, that have the same base and we're dividing them, we have two terms that have the same base and we're dividing them. That means that we have to subtract the powers. And so we have 10 raised to the power of 3 minus -4 because we have two terms that have the same base and we have to subtract the powers. So this is going to be 10. So when we divide, let me show you, when we divide these two numbers, we get 10 raised to the power of 3 minus -4. And so we have to multiply this by 10 raised to the power of x, and that's going to be equal to 1. Now, what do we have? We have 3 minus -4. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive. Again, a negative times a negative is a positive. So it's going to be 3 plus 4, and 3 plus 4 is 7. And so what do we have? Well, we have 10 to the power of 7 multiplied by 10 to the power of x. And we divide these two here. We have 24 divided by 2.4. Again, we have 24 divided by 2.4, and that gives us 10. And so we have 10 times 10 to the power of 7 multiplied by 10 to the power of x, and that's equal to 1. Next, we have two terms that have the same base. And so whenever you have two terms that have the same base and you're multiplying them, then you must add the powers. Now, this number right here, its power is going to be 1. So if we have 10 just by itself, its exponent is just 1. So this is going to be 10 raised to the power of 1 because 10 raised to the power of 1 is simply 10. And so we have 10 to the power of 1 multiplied by 10 to the power of 7. Now what we have to do, we have to add the powers. So it's going to be 10 raised to the power of 1 plus 7 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of x is equal to 1. Next, we add 1 plus 7 is 8. All right. So we have 10 raised to the power of 8 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of x, which is equal to 1. Next, we divide both sides of this equation by 10 to the power of 8 because we need to ensure that x is by itself. So we're trying to isolate x. So we cancel this 10 to the 8 with that 10 to the 8. And so we are left with 10 to the power of x is equal to 1 divided by 10 to the power of 8. Next, what we do is we express 1 over 10 to the power of 8 as 10 to the power of -8. And that's because 10 to the power of -8 is equal to 1 all over 10 to the power of 8. So we have 10 to the power of x is equal to 10 to the power of -8. Now we have the same base here. So once we have the same base, the powers are equal. And so that means that x here is going to be equal to -8. And so that's our answer here. X is equal to -8. So what did we do here? Well, we have 1 over 10 to the power of 8. And we can express that as 10 to the power of -8 because 10 to the power of -8 can be expressed as a fraction 1 over 10 to the power of 8. And so now here in this line, we have 10 to the power of x, which is equal to 10 to the power of -8. These two bases are the same. So if the bases are the same, then the powers are equal. So that means that x is equal to -8. And that's our answer to this particular question.